Okay, we'll just stick the microphone there, and I think we're good to go. Oh, we're actually a day away from best friends with Speedy. May as well open that one up.
Jingle bells, Steve misses the best. Oh, I'm actually just one day away from best friends with PvP Steve. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Let's go ahead and do this.
Oh, heck.
Whoa, what happened? That was so weird. Steve?
Whoa, that was strange, but at least we can start recording that video now. Wait, where am I? Hey, Speedy, how's it going? Anything going on?
I have no idea. I was opening the gift to take us to best friends, and now I'm in the land down under.
Oh, I was opening that last gift as well. It must have swapped us somehow. But I was just about to record a video for Stevefest and it's supposed to come out tonight. Do you think you could maybe help me out?
Don't worry, Steve. We've got this.
You are the best, Speedy.
All right, battlers. PvP Steve's first opponent is MrDoctorPants. Let's get right into this game. Surfetched into the Glade. Really bad lead here for Surfetch, and he doesn't have a whole lot of great options, to be honest, with the Alolan Ninetales and that Victor Bell on the bench. He's going to throw the Night Slash right away. It does get shielded, which is nice, and then he swaps in a Vic, and Glade swaps out. In comes Venusaur. Venusaur, a wonderful counter here. It's really funny how the Nightfall meta kind of turned out that way, that you wanted a grass poison to counter the other grass poison because a lot of the ice types are just not bulky enough and the steel is so rare and so niche. It's just really difficult to use. So the Venusaur does go ahead and fire at the Frenzy Plant. Down goes the Shadow Vic. Now it's a game of energy. I think Steve needs to figure out how to get some energy on his Pokemon, but he is going to let the Surfetch go as well. He's going to put it all on the Alolan Ninetales. Racing against this Venusaur, but those Vine Whips are just so fast. Going to get to the charge move here, and Steve will be forced to shield. It was a Sludge Bomb, so really nice shield there. 2 more Charms are going to be enough to bring down the Venusaur, but it is 2 versus 1. In comes Frostlass. This is part of the reason why the Alolan Ninetales is so good, but look at this catch. Glade swapping in to catch the Psyshock. He is going to shield that one up, and that's an interesting move. Glade's got quite a bit of energy, so this could be a close combat. He does shield that properly, and then the 1 charm KOs it. I really like this play, actually, because when you debuff the Glade in that way, you give less farm to the Alolan Ninetales. Frostlass is going to wrap this up with the Shadow Ball, and MrDoctorPants is going to take game 1. Going to game 2, the Shadow Victory Bell into Medicham. Again, speaking to the Shadow Victory Bell, it's such a terror in this cup. Even the mighty Medicham is just getting chunked down. He's going to go and fire a move here, and Vic will shield. It is the Ice Punch. And now Shadow Victory Bell can comfortably just farm here, but Steve was going to go ahead and lock this matchup down by throwing the Leaf Blade. This would be more than enough. Or excuse me, Leaf Tornado. What a fun move. Here comes the Venusaur again. So MrDoctorPants, realizing that his Medicham wasn't very helpful and probably lacking another serious answer to Venusaur, is going to go ahead and bring that out. Steve is going to let the Frenzy Plant through, and the final Vine Whip will KO. In comes the Noctowl, and here comes Frostlass and the counter swap into Stunfisk. So Steve was able to win lead there, and it really paid off for him because he's able to RPS himself into a great situation here. He does throw the Rock Slide there against the Frostlass, does get shielded. Stunfisk really good here. Gonna need at least 2 Avalanches to bring down the Steel Bear Trap there. He does drop the first Avalanche, and it does get shielded. Here comes a Rock Slide from PvP Steve, returning fire against the Frostlass. This move will get shielded as well. Frostlass is basically at the shooting range now. It does have shields down, so I expect a big move here. Going to go ahead and fire off the Avalanche, but it's not quite enough. Stunfisk going to survive, but another move from Frostlass. It charges so quickly with the buff Powder Snow. CMP tie, Frostlass will win it. Avalanche drops on the Stunfisk, but in comes the Noctowl. Frostlass needs 1 more piece of magic here, and look at the swap. Oh my goodness, what a swap. PvP Steve going to undercharge this move very heavily. Does a little bit of damage to the Venusaur, but count these Vine Whips with me. That was 2, right? Here comes a move from the Venusaur. Is it the Sludge Bomb? Yes, it is. Let's count these Vine Whips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and he gets the 6th one right there. He had the Frenzy Plant right there in the last moments. Here comes Knockdown. Will the Sky Attack be enough? He misses a bubble, it might cost him, and he still gets the KO. Wow, what a game. Now, PvP Steve is going to take on SosaFlo, California's finest. Sosa is an awesome tournament organizer and helps run the Team Rocket PvP channel. He does lead that Surf Fetch again, but the Knockdown is going to be an unfavorable lead. The counter swap, and here comes the Stun Fist to answer Steve's knockdown. Now, this is an interesting move here, going for the Psychic, but I do like it. I like that you're trying for the defense drop here. He doesn't get it that time, which is unfortunate. Stunfist going to gather up quite a bit of energy, and so far, Sosa doing a really nice job of locking down these matchups, really trying to RPS this game out. If you mind me saying that so often, sometimes this game really feels like the RPS is that important. I have to mention it like 3 or 4 times a video, but here comes another Rock Slide here from the Stunfist, another Psychic, and no defense drop, which is really, really not good. Rock Slide going to be more than enough to take down the Knockdown. Going to make the fast swap back into the Knockdown. Here comes an attack. I really, really like the pressure that Sosa is applying here, giving up switch, almost a kamikaze type thing, because he forces the Knockdown out, and here comes the Stun Fist to answer. So he's going to go ahead and fire off this Rock Slide against the Knockdown. Won't be enough to KO, but Knockdown so thick, Mud Shots do so little damage that he's absolutely got to throw another move here in order to KO the Knockdown. Here comes a Psychic from Sosa's Knockdown. No defense drop. We are fishing for that for days, trainers, but we are not getting it in today's video so far. Here comes another Rock Slide from Steve. This move does go through, and this is favorable for Sosa because he's able to bring in this Primeape. Oh my gosh, Sosa with the spice. I love this Primeape, and with 2 shields in the back, this is really, really tough sledding for our friend Steve here. He makes a fast swap into Surf Fetch, hoping to catch a Night Slash. Will he do it? And he does. That resist Night Slash does land, but look at this. Surf Fetch going to sneak in 1 Night Slash, but the counter from the Primeape did sneak in as well. Not very effective. Again, resistant on both sides, but look at this. The counters are hurting so bad to these fighters. Man, just 2 glassy fighters really going at it, but Primeape has a very favorable situation here. Stunfist going to shield here. I think this is definitely what you have to do this late in the game, but he's so far from a move. Primeape is almost able to counter down before one final Rock Slide comes through. He's going to fire that off and take down the Primeape. Wow, here comes the Stun Fist though to wrap this game up. Going into this game, Shadow Victory Belt into Lapras. I'm noticing a trend here, battlers. Whenever Steve switches it up and leads that Shadow Vic, he always lands in a favorable position. Here comes the Ninetales to answer the Primeape. Now, this is a risk here to not shield. It could be the close combat, and it is. Oh my gosh, look at that. Alola Ninetales, Fairy type. Primeape don't care. Primeape, like Honey Badger, just doesn't care. Just gonna KO you with the close combat there. In comes the Venusaur. Again, the Grass type answering the Grass type, or the Grass Poison, if you will. Venusaur gonna get to a move here, and Steve is going to try to call this one, and he calls it correctly. He really didn't call that close combat, but he's got to figure out how to maintain shields, and he does just that here by calling the Frenzy Plant against the Victory Bell. Gonna drop this Acid Spray, and Venusaur to shield as well. Sosa, man, what a call by Steve there to throw the Acid Spray. Venusaur very weak, but it got quite a bit of energy. You can start throwing these moves as quickly as it can. Stunfist not shielding the first one here. I'm going to go ahead and let that through. Does almost half. Another move coming from Sosa here. Another Frenzy Plant. This will devastate Stunfist if it lands, so Steve is forced to shield. In comes a few more Vine Whips and the Mud Shots, and it's just a race. But here comes a Rock Slide from the Stunfist. Let's see if this lands. And it does. Venusaur's out for the count. In comes the Lapras, but look at this. It can survive at least 1 Rock Slide, and it needs 2 Surfs to win. Somehow Sosa has maneuvered himself into a good position here. Going to go ahead and shield the first Surf and try to build up some energy here. Steve is going for the Rock Slide, and he does. He just capped off there at 2 Rock Slides, so he does have them back to back. And fired the first one there, and again, super effective, but not enough. Here comes the second Rock Slide, and this is all a question of pacing. If Lapras can get to 1 more Surf, it can wrap this up. There's the predictable shield, and the final Surf to win the game, losing the lead, winning the game. Sosa, 2 OP. Going into this game here, Claydol into Stunfisk. What a spicy pick. This is a Confusion Claydol. As we know, Claydol can learn Mud Slap. That would be a very favorable position for the Claydol here against the Stunfisk, but we are working with Confusion here, so the Stunfisk is going to fire off that Earthquake right away, doing a heap of damage to this Claydol. He's going to go ahead and drop the Earth Power. Now, you always want that defense drop, but this is such a devastating move that Stunfisk, wow, doesn't shield and pays a price, takes the damage. He's going to try to outpace the Stunfisk here, which is always a very dangerous proposition, but he does throw the Earthquake, so he is low on energy. Can Steve do it? And he cannot. Here comes another move from the Stunfisk. Again, very ambitious to try to farm down, but he commits. He doubles down with the shields. He's going to go 2 shields down to farm down the Stunfisk. Claydol wins swap. In comes Swampert. Swampert not going to appreciate these moves here as either, because it is a little bit glassy. And the defense drop as well. Oh my gosh. Claydol putting in so much work here. He did earn back one of those shields that we lost early on. Going to go ahead and come in here with Gallade. This is an interesting move. You are kind of playing the game if Swampert has Sledge Wave. You don't want to, oh my gosh, speaking of Sledge Wave, I was going to say you don't want to bring in your Abomasnow, but look at this, coming in the Abomasnow against the Noctowl. The only issue here, trainers, is that Noctowl does have a shield and Steve does not. It's easy to forget that the big snowman is part grass, but he is not going to appreciate this sky attack coming from the Noctowl. Going to fire that off, and it will be almost enough to KO, but the Noctowl gets 2 more wing attacks, putting it ahead in energy here against Gallade, and it wing attacks down for the win. Jumping right into the set against Lundberger. Battlers, if you've enjoyed Steve Miss, give him a subscription, give him a like, give him a comment. You got to support Steve. He's doing so much work for the PvP community, and it's so awesome. Here comes Shadow Gallade into the Gliscor. This is wing attack Gliscor, so you would think this is a favorable matchup for the flyer, but he's going to fire off the Night Slash there, and it does get shielded by the Gallade. And look at that, the Confusion snuck through, so this Gliscor is much weaker than anticipated. These Leaf Blades are going to sting, so Steve is forced to shield there. Going to stay in here and try to win this War of Attrition, but Gallade getting to another Leaf Blade. That Confusion that he snuck in earlier really pays off there, allowing him to take switch. Going to come in here with Victory Bell and farm down with the Razor Leaf. In comes Venusaur. Man, Venusaur as a wall to Victory Bell is something that I did not see coming. Whenever I saw this meta, I looked at the ice types, I looked at the steels, I looked at any kind of fire I could find, but I never thought that Venusaur would be the ultimate counter here to the Victory Bell. Steve not going to shield here, Frenzy Plant, calling it again. What a call. In comes a Frostlass, and in comes the Stunfisk in the back. You really wish you could get the Victory Bell on the Stunfisk and the Frostlass on the Venusaur, but it doesn't always work out that way. Rock Slide going to do quite a bit of damage, but Steve is banking a lot of energy here. He's going to start returning fire. It's going to be rapid. He's going to fire up this first Avalanche, and it does get shielded. Going to go for the second one, and he gets there. I'm not sure if that was CMP or not, but this is going to do quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, Stunfisk also building up quite a bit of energy. It was CMP, so he does throw the Rock Slide. Actually, Steve going to shield here. I'm really surprised by that. Let's see how this turns out. He's going to try to bank on getting to one more move or the swap, and he doesn't quite get there. Stunfisk able to mud shot down. Victory Bell unable to close with the Razor Leaves, and Stunfisk is going to close out this game. Going into the next batch, here we go with Stunfisk Mirror. Don't ever not bait except maybe sometimes, right? That's the play, but the swaps come in here and we have the Frostlass into the Venusaur. Venusaur can win this matchup with favorable IVs and a little bit of energy, and that Frenzy Plant does a whopping amount of damage. At this point, this Venusaur only needs to shield one time and it can Vine Whip down the Ice-type Frostlass. Gonna go ahead and throw up the shield there as predicted. Here comes the Vine Whip down. This is a bad spot for Steve. I know the lag was very confusing early on, but he's gonna try to make the most of it. Here comes a few counters from the Medicham and another Frenzy Plant, and this Venusaur is rolling at this point. It's got quite a bit of energy. I think it's pretty close to another one here, but the Medicham going to sneak in this Ice Punch. If it does land, it will be enough to KO. And it does, closing out the Venusaur. In comes Gallade. Oh my gosh, this is going to be a really crazy game. He makes a swap to catch the Leaf Blade onto the Stunfisk. I like this play. He's putting a lot on Medicham's shoulders, but I think he wants to try to close with it after possibly farming up this Stunfisk. Going straight for the Earthquake. Again, don't ever not bait except maybe sometimes. Here comes the Earthquake. and it does go through, doing a huge amount of damage to Stunfisk. This actually kind of foils Steve's earlier strategy, though, because if the Stunfisk is too low, it's not going to provide you enough farm. He does throw the Earthquake, though, which means it's energy dry. He gets 3 counters worth of energy. Now it is a race. It's a question of pacing. Can he draw the shield here? 2 confusions go off from the Glade. He throws the Ice Punch. He's got to get his shield here to win. And he does. He's got to get to the Psychic here, or he throws one more Ice Punch, but the confusion comes through. It's not going to be quite enough, but Medicham cannot tank another Ice Punch. Is not enough. Going to fire for another counter. The confusion will take it. Wow, what a game. Going into this game, Medicham into that Venusaur. Generally a favorable position for Venusaur. Again, that poison typing really coming in handy in terms of resisting things like grass, things like fighting. This poison typing is just so good in this meta. He does land that Ice Punch, though, putting Venusaur at quite a health deficit, which is kind of surprising. Frenzy Plant will not quite be enough here, but it'll almost KO, so Steve is forced to shield. He's going to try to look for that Victory Bell, and he does. Oh my gosh, Steve catching all of these Frenzy Plants. What a play. Oh my god, it's Sludge Bomb. I was so wrong. I can't believe I was so wrong. I thought he caught the Frenzy Plant. He even fooled me. Wow, what a play. In comes the Alola Ninetales here against the Knocked Out. Now that Sludge Bomb landing was such a momentum killer. It really set Steve back. He's going to not shield the Sky Attack here on the Ninetales, knowing that the Ninetales can tank that damage. Trying to get to a move, but Knocked Out is just too quick. The fast move pressure is not enough. Knocked Out reaches the Sky Attack. In comes the Medicham here to answer. And it's looking pretty bleak for the Medicham. He does work up a couple extra counters, but it's 3 Pokeballs and 2 shields versus Medicham with 1 shield. Knocked Out does decide to shield there, which is interesting. He's going to get to the Sky Attack here. Probably best that Steve did not tap on that Ice Punch, because you don't want to see him P-tie and lose all your energy. He does swap in the Gallade, though, and this is looking really grim for the Medicham. He's going to fire off the Psychic, but the shield comes up. Here comes a Confusion, and that wins the game. Battlers, I hope you've enjoyed Stevemas. I'm so grateful that he wanted to partner with me to do these collaborations. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you enjoyed the skits at the beginning, and I hope you've enjoyed Stevemas. If you've watched these videos and you don't follow him on Twitch, if you aren't subbed to him on YouTube, do that right now. Steve is awesome, and he deserves all the support. Give him a like, give him a follow on all platforms, and yeah, Steve, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this Nightfall Cup Shoutcast, and I hope you've enjoyed Stevemas. See you all in 2021.